You are listening to Paper and Vices, a very special episode of Paper and Vices, being that it is the first episode that we have recorded in the same room together since we started the podcast over a year ago. In August of 2021, Lee came up to see me so we could attend the Alanis Morissette and Garbage concert together. A great time was had, and we decided to record an episode the night before. Unfortunately, this meant we were using a different setup, and we didn't realize until Lee was already safely back in Florida that there were some issues with sound quality. So this episode and next week's episode aren't quite up to our normal standards, but after listening to them, we really felt like the content was still worth releasing. So please, the four of you, that every time you hit your own speed button and mess up your own recording, email me to tell me the sound isn't perfect. I appreciate your love, but this time, we know, and we hope you enjoyed these episodes. We will be back to our normal recording setup in 2 weeks. We want to talk with you about the books that feed your imagination and the vices that spark your soul.
We drink, we curse, we read things. Come sit by us. Expect no judgment, just good times.
Welcome to Paper and Vices. Books reviewed, vices indulged.
Mature content warning.
There it is. That's the thing.
That's the thing.
I am Victoria Papers,
Nine Vices.
and we are together in person.
Yes, we are. It is awesome.
It is awesome. And we are drinking, to the surprise of absolutely no one.
I forget which wine I opened. We just came back from Trader Joe's and we brought it upstairs.
Yeah, excuse the desk noises. Paso Dragon Cabernet Sauvignon.
It's pretty cool.
It's good.
It's good. Yeah. It'll be really good after a few more sips.
Because we let it breathe.
Exactly.
Not because we're intoxicated. That would be weird.
That would be.
It's been a good night, though. We drove from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Had tacos.
Yep.
Went to Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Then we opened wine.
Yep. I mean, it's hard to get better than that.
It is. Tomorrow we're going to go hear. I don't know that I would say they're one of my favorite artists. It's just like one of those iconic for our generation artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's definitely a bucket list thing.
Yeah.
Like if you had the chance to go see the Rolling Stones, you would go see them whether or not you owned a Rolling Stones t-shirt.
Absolutely.
So in theory, we're going to go see Alanis tomorrow.
Yes.
Woohoo! I'm so fucking excited. and we have been goddamn vaccinated. Lee has had the Rona and been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
We are masking, we are distancing, we are spraying ourselves in the eyeballs with disinfectant. I don't want to hear it.
I've been swabbed like 80 million times. I don't have it right now. So
Lee just doesn't have sinuses
I
anymore.
just don't. I don't. I mean, I'm from Florida, so in Florida, you either don't give a shit at all, or you take extra precautions because of all the other people that don't give a shit at all.
And we talked about, this was supposed to happen last year. It's not just Alanis. It's Alanis Morissette and Garbage. Which, like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about doing it last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing happened this year.
Nope.
The only thing that happened in 2020 was that in January, we came to see you. We saw our favorite band. And then the world went to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what we get for attending a Five Hour Frenzy concert. No more Reese Roper. We're done with you. So it's just, I know there's a little bit of risk, but I feel it's, if I didn't think it would be safe, I would be going.
Yeah.
And I'm real fucking excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Also, I'm going to be so tired by the time we're done because there's going to be so many people. I'm going to be like, oh my god, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck, too many people.
That's what the beer's for, so it's all good.
Touche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're getting up at dark fucking early.
Yeah. Worth it.
Yes, 125 fucking percent.
But also, I'm coming home and taking a nap. On Monday.
Yep.
Like, I just told my husband, I'm coming home, I'm going to sleep. I'll sleep rolled around my Starbucks cup. I don't give a fuck. It'll be the first time. So being in person means, my husband's our sound editor, and it was so cute, because he's like, well, I won't be able to edit it out when we talk over each other, but since you're in person and you're sitting across from each other, that won't happen. And I'm like, have you been with us? With alcohol? It's a thing.
Yes. So we already mentioned what we're drinking. What is it we do?
What are we reading?
What are we reading?
And what are our vices?
It's not like we do this at all.
Okay, to be fair, we took the summer off.
Yes. Yeah, we're still getting back into the swing of things. I am. Yeah, I'm just like, what?
You're tired and drinking alcohol.
Yes.
It's a winning combination.
It is a winning combination.
after this we have big cookies, and I think vampires if we're up to it.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Who needs sleep?
The sun shall not rise on this fucking bottle of wine.
That's what Monday's for. Sleeping on Monday.
Yeah.
So what are you reading?
I just finished The Viscount Who Loved Me by Julia Quinn. It's the second Bridgerton novel. Yes, that is the season they're filming right now. It's good. It's as good as the first one, but like not exactly the same. Which obviously it's not exactly the same because it's a different book. Like I've read a lot of romance books, and a lot of times in a series you basically get the same story and the same characters with different body measurements and coloring. No shade. If the shit works, it works.
Yeah.
This was not that. It actually, it goes into how Anthony Bridgerton is a rogue, and he's basically known as a man whore. Not to say in a slut shaming way, but like in the 90s we would have called him a man whore, and this is, a novel about Regency times. It's a historical term, both it.
Yeah.
It talks about part of the reason he doesn't want to get married, and part of the reason he's afraid of loving his wife is because of how his dad died suddenly and tragically, and like he's kind of fucked up from that, which Julia Quinn's a very good author. Like this is the second Bridgerton novel I've read. I have the first four because I got the specialty box. But it's really cool because dialogue is amazing. It always is. And she did it a little bit in the first one, The Duke and I, too, I guess. So I guess the daddy issues weren't completely unexpected, but like hot stoic dudes with daddy issues. She's good at it.
Yeah.
And like there's this one scene where like he's fucking his wife, and like spoiler alert, he marries the girl. You know this. You knew in the first like 20 minutes of the Bridgerton show that they were gonna bump uglies. Don't be scandalized. Like he's fucking his wife, and he tells Kate that she's beautiful, and she like gets really offended and almost starts crying while they're having sex because she's like, "Don't lie to me." And he's
God.
like, because her sister was like the jewel of the season, and she's like the plain one. But then he gets to know her, and she's kind of snarky, and she's very intelligent. He's like, "This is my shit. Yes, thank you." And she just hadn't comprehended, even though that they were married and like he was fucking her, that he thought she was beautiful. And I'm like the sex scenes in the Bridgerton novels are good. They're not as good as the TV show, but they're good. And it was just such a real like awkward sex happens, right?
Yes.
Like even with your partner that you've known that you've had sex with more times than you can count, in every position, even the ones that give you weird cramps. Awkward sex happens.
Yes. There are off nights.
There are. And it was such a real moment that, especially in that place and time when marriage isn't strictly an affair of the heart, and with all the shit he had going on and all the walls he had up, that like it's their first time having sex, they're finally doing it, and it's awkward sex. And I was like, that's so, and like she recovered the scene. It wasn't awful and disappointing or anything, but it was really creatively done, I guess. Because sometimes the best sex scenes are the sex scenes that would never happen.
Yes.
But there is a satisfaction about reading a sex scene that it's like, yeah,
Yes. I can see that happening.
Yes. And it adds such a depth to the characters and their relationship that I really appreciate it. Because there are also novels where it's like everything is fraught and they're at each other's throats and it's enemies to lovers. And then as soon as her tits are out, everything's perfect and their bodies communicate what words can't. That's not how it works. I don't care how hot your husband is. If you aren't communicating, tits out doesn't fix that. It doesn't.
It's true.
So yeah, I really liked this novel. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I've heard mixed reviews about the later ones in the Bridgerton series, so it'll be interesting to see what I think when I get to those. But yeah, book 2 so far so good. Really looking forward to the show.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear a shit ton about that when it happens. Bridgerton Loins.
How many books are there? Like 8?
I think so. Yeah, one for each of the Bridgerton kids.
Gotcha.
And then she did a book just of epilogues, but in the newest printing of the paperbacks, the second epilogues are included. Epilogues? I've had half a glass of wine and I can't talk.
Is that like either? Epilogue, epilogue,
Tomato, tomato.
tomato, tomato. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. What are you reading?
I am about 3/4 of the way through Star Daughter, and it's pretty cool. I just got to a scene that it's like, okay, I don't know, like the mom in that book has seemed kind of like a very flat character so far, and then there's a scene that makes me think that there's more to her than meets the eye.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm just kind of like, all right, let's see where this see where this goes. She may remain kind of the flat character, or it could turn into a big thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's good. You know what's cool about it is that the character, I think, is in high school or just recently graduated.
It's definitely a YA book.
Yeah, but I don't know, there's something about the way it's written that it's kind of like the character doesn't have the like headspace for a lot of the drama. Like just kind of like, all right, I don't need this bullshit. And I think there's actually like a part where she's like, fuck, I'm in high school again. And so I was just like, I can relate to that, you know? Like I hated, one of the main reasons I did not like high school wasn't because of lack of friends or anything. It was just kind of like, I was just like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah,
bullshit.
it's exhausting.
It is.
And then you grow up and you're like, in any social group you end up in that has more than like 5 people, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, the same shit.
Oh no.
Just, yeah, that's why I like
Churches, the
God.
PTA,
Jesus Christ, yeah.
quilting clubs. Goddamn.
So you have friends from every little group, but you kind of keep them at a respectable
Like you
distance.
have your
and then,
ride or die.
and then you have your ride or die.
You have your ride or die that you have a group chat with.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's your other friends.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong with them. Just
No.
everybody's got a place.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between friends by association
Mm-hmm.
and then when you leave that association and you keep friends. Because, like,
Yes.
we met because we were part of the same group.
Mm-hmm.
That group ended up with a bunch of dramatic bullshit.
Love it.
But it's like saying Mount Rushmore is a rock. It's a little rock. But you kept the friends.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Valkyrie, you got her from being a part of a job,
Mm-hmm.
but we kept her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because I met her when you guys were still working together. And then my friend that lives in Michigan
Mm-hmm.
got her from flirting with her ex-boyfriend while he was still her boyfriend because he casually did not mention that he had a girlfriend. To be clear, he was hot trash. But his ex is one of my closest friends. Sucks to suck, dude. So yeah, you have your friends that like you keep from wherever you meet them, and then you have your friends that it's like, if my kid never takes a dance class with your kid again,
Probably won't. Yeah. Yep.
like there was a group of moms in my kid's dance class, and there's one mom I'm still friends with, I still chat with, and I need to call her and go coffee, but like
Mm-hmm.
real world, out of the whole group. And like, it's not that I didn't like the woman in the whole group, but the mom that I clicked with the most, she's a writer, she's very real, we communicate similarly.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
There's only so much time too.
Right.
So, yeah. What's your vice this week?
Shit, I should know that. Oh, I paid someone to clean my house.
What was what do you think?
It was awesome. And I know that it is a bougie privileged thing. Like, let me say straight up out the gate, it is a bougie privileged thing to pay someone to come clean your house. And so if you're sitting there thinking, must be nice, I'm sitting here thinking, I can't believe I'm this person that I paid someone to clean my house. I've mentioned briefly, and I don't really want to go into them, that I have chronic health issues. Some days I'm just in a lot of fucking pain because my body's just like, living's dumb, let's make it hurt. And I almost cried when they left because they sent a couple people. They got here at 9, they left at 11, they did a deep cleaning. Like, the last time my baseboards were clean was in April of 2020 when I got really drunk on the rest of my bottle of rum, listened to the entire Spice Girls discography, and crawled around on my hands and knees cleaning my baseboards. And that was in April of 2020. Look, a lot of people have those stories.
The 2020 story.
Yeah. And then last week, I just randomly had 3 days where I just kept looking at my husband going, why does my body hurt? Like, why does my body hurt? I don't want my body to hurt. I'm so mad that my body hurts. Eventually, he just looked at me and he's like, fuck it, call the cleaners. And he did this before I had the days where my body hurt, but it just lined up to where, like, it reaffirmed that, like, going up and down my fucking stupid stairs 5,000 times to clean my house was asking a lot of my body.
Mm-hmm.
And when they left at 11 a.m. I wasn't tired. I wasn't in pain. I had energy to enjoy my clean house.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a thing that I haven't experienced unless I clean shit right before I go to bed.
Oh, yeah.
And then you pray your family doesn't touch stuff before you can wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, lasts about 10 minutes.
Right. But, like, having a clean house and only being in, like, my normal daily pain or, like, not extra pain from cleaning the house in the middle of the day was such a weird, awesome thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be, yeah. I It's funny because Victoria and I have talked about, like, had this conversation about house cleaners, and I've been saying that I'm going to do it for a long time, and I just haven't, mainly because I haven't found the right person, although I think that's not true anymore. I think I found the right person, but I just haven't done it. But that whole feeling of, like, everything's done, and, like, something to look forward to.
I didn't realize how stressful it was. Because, I don't know, a lot of people learn things a lot differently, but, like, I feel guilty when my house is dirty. Even if I'm not the one who made it dirty. The Legos on the floor, like, 80% of the time are not me. If they're around my desk, that's me.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law sends me Harry Potter Legos for holidays. God, I love
So
her.
cool.
Yeah. And it hasn't always been the case. Kids, go to therapy, take your meds, apologize when you need to. It's better. So, yeah, it just, like, it's totally a vice. I understand it's a luxury, blah, 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 blah. It was wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your vice?
Cheese.
Which is
Actually,
also wonderful.
yes, we actually just left Tijuana Flats where I consumed like half the queso.
Well, there were two of us and one queso that was your servings.
No, I'm pretty sure I ate most of it.
Did I ever tell you that when we took our kid, she would steal spoons and dip them in the queso and then lick them off, like when she was 18 months old?
Yeah, because it's addicting. It's addicting as fuck. And like so there are a couple products that I just am not allowed to have in my house because I have no self-control. And one of them is the cheese sauce that's probably not really cheese. It's a cheese food. And like the nacho chip aisle. And it's like a little toast, like
the jar of hot cheese.
The hot jar of hot cheese. But I'll seriously find myself at like midnight eating it cold out of the refrigerator with like Fritos.
Oh, with Fritos?
Fritos.
Shit.
Yeah, Fritos. Like, we were out of chips, so I broke up pieces of tostada and was just like, just scooping it out of the jar. And I was just like, I can't do this. And then like my logic goes like this: the faster I eat it, the faster it'll be out of my house, and I won't be doing this at midnight. So
that's the logic I use with Halloween Oreos. The rest of the year, like, fuck Oreos, I don't really care. Orange and black Halloween Oreos. Hell yeah.
It's a different story.
I use the same logic, so no judgment, just good times.
Yes.
It's in our intro or something. We've been talking for 22 minutes.
Oh, well, some of this is getting cut for Patreon, which we have a Patreon, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that was smooth.
That was smooth.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That was our glasses blinking.
Wins at that. We do have a Patreon. I have like horror clips I need to upload to it. It has a bunch of conversation shit that's been cut short. Bloopers, behind the scenes of how we get those pretty bookstagram pictures. Just the hint, my cat's probably there somewhere, just hanging out.
It's a beautiful cat, so
he's a good boy. Yeah. And you should join. I think it's like $10 a month. You get a sparkly pin with our logo, which is nice.
It is nice
because it's sparkly and it has our logo.
Do I have a sparkly pen with our logo?
No.
I don't. See, you can sign up for our Patreon and you'll have something that Levi's doesn't have at this point.
Maybe you do. I don't know.
I don't
remember how many we ordered. It's so like, I don't know. The bag of them is behind you under the stickers.
Okay.
We'll fix it before tomorrow. We'll be better about getting you yours.
We will.
So, yeah. I have to say, though, I think my biggest vice this week is that you were willing to travel with me.
Fuck yeah.
I like your face so much.
I like your face, too.
It's nice to see it.
In person and not over Zoom.
And that's going to be it for us. Find us everywhere on social media at Paper and Vices, even on Patreon at Paper and Vices. And until next time,
don't be an asshole.
Yes.
Smoke a joint.
Yes.
Take care of yourself.
Nailed it.
Woohoo!
This has been a production of Paper and Vices, copyright 2021. This episode is presented for entertainment purposes only, and any vice should be pursued only within the legal boundaries, common sense, and personal responsibility of each person. Please check your local laws. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individual hosts and guests only, and do not in any way represent the views of Paper and Vices LLC or any named persons, nor should they be considered personal, medical, or legal advice. Previous episodes and other commentary can be found at paperandvices.com.